Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Don Labonte. Today is our 11th hour of studying conversation patterns. The first 15 to 20 minutes you should be reviewing the patterns that we've previously learned. Today we're going to concentrate on why. Why, the question and answers to questions on why. The printout you see on the left can be found in the teacher's guide under the file entitled Why. We first study how to make questions with why. There's 4 ways to say why in English conversation. The first, everyone overuses why in a question. S here is a sentence. So why did you go is the same as how come you went. You went. You is a sentence, so how come you went? Why do you like her? How come you like her? Why couldn't she go? How come she couldn't go? The second variation here is what question for. The only quirk about this pattern is that it does not sound good with adjectives. So why are you tired? What are you tired for? Why is it cold? What is it cold for? Usually it doesn't sound good. It usually sounds the best with questions with a verb. Why did you go? What did you go for? Why did you meet her? What did you meet her for? The fourth variation is why is it that in any sentence. That is optional. However, I usually ask students to develop good habits, use the whole pattern in the beginning. So why is it that you like her? Why is it that she can't come? Why is it that you don't know how to drive? Why is it that she has to go? The 4 segments on the bottom here are ways to answer questions relating to why. Here is our first answer. Everybody overuses because, so I don't let students use because. But S is a sentence. The asterisk here just shows the placement of the sentence. I have an example here. She ate because she was hungry. She ate since she was hungry is the same. If you use so, this sentence has to go in the front. The second simple way to answer with just the verb is to and the verb or in order to and the verb. They are exactly the same. Why did you meet her? I met her to talk. I met her in order to talk. They are exactly the same. In conversation, the native speaker will just say, for example, if I ask why did you meet her, they will just say to talk. For the beginning student, I make them complete the full sentence. Why did you meet her? I met her to talk. I met her in order to talk. One thing that you have to note with this pattern, when you use either so, so that, or in order that, in the sentence, you have to have, in the positive sentence, can, could, or would. In the negative sentence, can't, couldn't, wouldn't, or won't. If you don't have it, it just sounds strange. For example, at the bottom here, I read so I understand is no good. You have to put I read so I could understand, so that I would understand. You have to put these in here in order to make it sound good. Grammatically, I don't know the reason, but if you do not have these in the sentence, it's going to sound bad. In the beginning, I just tell the students could obviously is in the past tense as opposed to can, but just try to use any of them. You'll begin to hear the native speaker use this and you just mimic which one they used. The reason why the pattern so, so that, and in order that is so helpful is that the simpler pattern I met to talk implies the same subject. there is a difference in subjects on each side of the sentence, so that, and in order that have to be used. One way I help students to utilize this pattern is that I don't allow them when they answer to answer with to and in order to. I make them use this pattern here. It sounds much better. It can be used with the same subject here or a different subject on both sides of the sentences, but it sounds good, so in order to help them to use it, I don't allow them to use this simpler pattern. It just makes them sound better. For example, I flew there to save time, and I flew there so I could save time. They're both the same, however, which one sounds better to you, sounds more sophisticated. Now to the last variation of answering questions to why. This particular pattern, you're repeating the question asked by the other person, and then here's the answer. For example, why did you go? The reason I went is because I wanted to meet her. The reason I went is to meet her. The reason I went is so I could meet her. The reason I went is because of my friend. So basically, any question that you ask can be placed in a sentence form here, and you can answer the question. So what I do is I go through some of the patterns that we've used. Why do you want to go? The reason I want to go is so I can meet her. Why have you got to meet her? The reason I've got to meet her is because she wants to talk. Why are you supposed to leave? The reason I'm supposed to leave is because of her. So this makes it very makes the student sound good. It's used a lot in conversation. It helps them to develop good habits. One little variation of this pattern, which you'll hear, is after reason you can put that or why. It's optional. Why do you like her? The reason that I like her is because she is so kind. Why did you eat? The reason why I ate is because I was hungry. What I tell the students at the end of the class is, for the rest of our time in the conversation pattern studies, whenever I ask a question why, how come, what did you do it for, any of those why questions, you have to use this pattern in the answer. It helps them to develop good habits, and once they begin to use it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times, it will become quite easy for them. In the beginning, obviously, they're stumbling a bit, but the more they use it, the more they'll be able to hear it, for one thing, from the native speaker, but the more they will sound good to the other person. It develops good habits. So I don't let them use why when they use a question, and when they answer the question, I make them use this longer pattern. Thank you very much.